This is Leaf Life. All things cannabis for all people. Now, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a free magazine called The Leaf, and it's available in print in 13 states at your local cannabis retailer. Pick one up, and it's also available online at leafmagazines.com. I'm Mike Ricker, your host of Leaf Life, with my co-host and partner, Wes Abney, also known as the Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course, there's AJOG.
Hola, aloha, OGs.
And Mary J. White.
The smoking female.
Vaporizing cannabis is a healthy and practical way to use the plant. However, there are differing opinions on the safety of inhaling your oil through cartridges. But is the potential for harm propaganda from the tobacco industry? Or something actually worthy of concern? This is vaping.
Gotta get higher.
Our first segment, the evolution. And our second segment, plug and play. The DABSKI. Hey, we're about to hit it. But before we get educated, we got to get medicated. You'll find out what the DABSKI is. So let's get stoned.
Awesome. Let's do it.
That's our medicine. It's our sacrament. Let's be real. This is a religion for us.
Got the
coin. Wherever your day has led you, now it's time to fire up, chew up, or drink up, but get in the mood as we introduce this show's Greg the Guinea Pig. Not yet, Devin, not yet.
Oh,
Jesus, the man is jumping the gun.
So excited.
Looks so good.
Hi, I'm Greg, and Ricker used to try his weed out on me. But now it's someone else's turn to be the guinea pig.
All right, and this time it is Evan Pierce. He's the inventor and owner of the DABSKI, a fun and innovative vaporizing device. Find it at DABSKI Vape on Instagram. Devin, welcome to the Leaf Life Podcast.
Hey, what's happening, Mike? Glad to be here.
But it wasn't just you that invented this, was it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So this started back in about 2018. My wife and I first started building these out of our apartment in Ventura, California. So we were 3D printing the bodies, hand building electronics. And
we'll talk about the DABSKI in a moment. I just wanted to pay homage to your wife, bro, who helped you invent this thing.
Absolutely. I not a night goes by where I don't miss painting these things and having our evenings
She tragically
together,
died and was hit by a car, and that was 2 years ago. Was your anniversary 2 weeks ago?
My anniversary was last week.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, and it's been about 4 years since her passing.
Let's honor her, brother, and use the DABSKI in just a moment. But first, we got to find out what you're going to be hitting as we spin AJ's wheel to see what's in AJ's stash.
And now, what's in AJ's stash?
There it goes. Big spin, AJ.
Yeah,
that thing almost flew out the window. Yeah.
So, we got Trophy Runtz today, you guys.
Trophy Runtz?
By Ooowee from Washington State.
Ooowee? How do you spell Ooowee?
It smells amazing.
It's all vowels.
Yes.
Mary J. White.
O-O-O-W-W-E.
Oh, like it's Ooowee.
Cool. Yeah, look at that cute packaging.
Yeah, they're a Washington company. Ooowee. Cool name, I think, personally.
Yeah.
It's time to go to
Excited to
infinity
try
and the
this.
bong here.
To infinity and the
And the
bong. He's got the
Resin.
DABSKI. It's kind of a nectar collector. Well, it is a nectar collector. They were the first ones to really jet out of the market, but
Whoa.
the DABSKI is way cooler. And there's the
nice.
exhale.
Whoa.
That's super nice.
Wow, that smells really yummy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I don't understand how this works.
Oh, Mary.
I don't understand it because it's a little gizmo.
Yeah, so
It is a gizmo.
this is the DABSKI. So it's this little guy right here.
It's a contraption that
Yeah.
you screw a part into.
Yeah, so
It looks like a spaceship.
It does.
Roger that. It's space. I've loved space ever since a little kid. I went to space camp.
Cool.
Like
Blaster.
it's Roger. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So it's
cool.
510 threaded.
Okay.
It'll fit a cartridge.
Oh, you
And
put a card in it.
yeah, that was its original design was the cartridges because there was no regulations on them.
right.
And so I was getting what are they called? Tonsil stones. So you're getting sick and stuff. And other people were in the news getting sick. And so to do something about that, I made this little contraption that took the cartridge, put it in a bong, and my wife and I decided, like, holy shit, let's do this. And so we decided to start doing that. And then as time has evolved, the ability to put the coils with the proper 510, it's the same as the cartridges. They have came out now. So you can, it sits on your bong. You can do a dab without a torch.
Wow.
Again,
Cool.
Evan and I were at this event called Hash Hole Island in Northern California, and Evan brought out a beer tap, except he hooked the DABSKI to it, and he was turning taps all night for people coming by. He had a cup with, you put a lid on it with a straw, and you were drinking your vapor, Mary.
Oh my God, Becky.
No way.
That is awesome.
What is
literally
this?
just got through the paperwork trademarking Keurig. So
Oh.
Curerig.
Nice.
Futuristic.
Smart.
Yeah, so it's a beer base. It's basically a beer tap, and it's pushed to the push of a button. It pumps through. It uses the DABSKI, and so you can showcase your cartridges or your concentrates, if whatever, and it goes into a cup.
And you drink it, but
It doesn't go stale.
It's the newest way to vape, if you really think about it. But
Does it get
talking
high?
about the evil, yes, it gets you high.
Does it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You get your
does it get high?
cannabinoids in there. Going back to the beginning, vaping isn't necessarily a new technology. I mean, it's relatively new. It's been around, 15 years, Wes?
That long?
I don't know.
It's been that long.
Yeah, but, here we are doing it out of mechanisms that are pretty freaking cool. But if you go back to the very beginning, a lot of people there was a lot of mystery around vaping and whether it was healthy or not. Because as we know with VapeGate that happened several years ago, the bottom fell out of the vape industry and companies were being blamed for people getting sick, and mostly people under the age of 21 because of the heavy metals being leached from the cartridges, from the atomizers and such. And it really isn't the devices that were getting sick. It was the cut in the oil from the black market. Nobody got sick from the legal market. It was all black market. But the propaganda told the story that vaping's unsafe. And I'm here to tell everybody that vaping, whether you're doing dabs or through a cartridge, is safe as long as you're putting quality oil in there.
So true. Because all I do is vape, and I'm healthy as fuck.
There you go.
No problems here. But dude, first of all, you're very attractive. And are you like a genius engineer guy? I mean, how did you come up with
He's
this?
dressed in a suit. He's got a tie on and everything. One of the first people to show up in a
shit.
suit on the podcast.
So I've always been a tinkerer. I at one point in my life, I ended up escaping to Kodiak, Alaska, and I became a commercial fisherman. Because of my size, I'm not 6 feet. I'm
small.
5.5. Yeah, a little more. 5'8".
Come on.
Give me an inch.
Yeah.
But I fit in a lot of places on boats where a lot of people don't fit, and I was willing to get down and get dirty, and I spent as much time as I could learning how everything worked, and then just being bright, luckily, it really worked out. And so I made my way up to engineer. So I was the engineer on 120-foot vessels that were catching tons at a time, running all the hydraulics, refrigeration, generators, the main, you name it. And so the whole tinkering thing, while I was on the ship is when I taught myself to learn AutoCAD, so the 3D modeling software. And from there, we took the gamble, and like any small business, it's every dollar you've got goes into it. So we did what we could, borrowed from where we could, and here we are today. So
cool.
And the original product, like the original idea was so you could hit a cartridge through a bong.
correct. That was its original main purpose,
Which is really nice. Like it smoothens out the vapor. You can take bigger hits. It's like the same but different as hitting a cartridge just off the battery. Kind of like taking a dry dab out of like a Puffco Proxy, which I think is not a very great product. But then you take the Proxy piece out and you put it into a bong attachment, and then you're getting a normal dab through water. It's much better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But Evan, how did you get into the vaping game? Like, what were you? We've always been in cannabis because you did 8 months in jail.
I did. Yeah.
And so what made you want to start, inventing? And do you love vaping? And is that what drew you to this?
So crazy enough, I spent my time jail here in Port Angeles. I went back to California when I got out, and the first job I got was at a dispensary, and they welcomed me with open arms. A buddy of mine and me started making concentrates, and we were trying to put them into cartridges because it was more like a convenient sale. Like, instead of trying to figure out how to put a gram of oil, and it's just so messy, the cartridges seemed like the bright idea. Unfortunately, we didn't continue with it. Like, people were afraid of it at that time. And then it finally did become an accepted deal. But that's what got me thinking first, because the technology is not there for the thick oils. It's for the propylene glycol, the vegetable glycerin. It's more like a wick system that absorbs the moisture rather than an actual coil that you could put it through. So the technology just wasn't there. And so like 2018, we were ahead of the available technology. We were actually making it. So that's, it's a lot of times there, when you think of a good idea, you don't have the bridge. And so we actually were able to build the bridge, and it just keeps coming more and more parts come available. There's more companies making things that fit on the 510 thread, but ultimately the cartridges, that just makes it so much easier. It's nice and clean. You really get a flavor of the terpenes, and it seems more bioavailable. Like, you seem to get a lot higher. I don't get always high off a pin, but if I put it through the DABSKI, it's the same thing, but it's not. So.
Well, the vaping has come a long way.
Absolutely.
Originally, it was done through the atomizer. It wasn't an atomizer at all. It was a wick cart, right? Those things leaked like crazy. Now there's great technology. You've got not a wick, a wick.
Yeah, ceramic coils.
It's a ceramic coil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct.
Yeah. So they used to have some crazy bulb battery thing, and it would just spatter everywhere, and that was I remember those things. Yeah, it's
messy.
And if you try to put it in your bong, you just go upside down, the oil falls out. Same with a cartridge. If you try to take your pen and do that, it goes out, and you burn your coil, or it just tastes like funny after that because you didn't have any liquid on it. So since the cartridge sits vertically, that's our patent. It pulls it from the bottom. Nobody thought of that. The vapor works both ways. So we pull it from the bottom, and that allows gravity to help feed it. It helps everything there. There's also a timer on it. It's 5 seconds. It's a long 5 seconds, but it's 5 seconds nonetheless. And that's so you don't burn your coil out. So in case there's some kind of accidental activation that gets dropped in water or something like that, it won't continue to go off. So it's been
in the second segment, we'll talk about the DABSKI. But first, it's time for you to play Common Lauraxagens.
How much do you actually know about the most mysterious mossback ever to scratch his chin quaff on an elk antler? This is Common Lauraxagens.
Good luck.
I sure hope it's multiple choice.
Yeah, good luck.
It's not, brother. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, you pick 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
Because much is yet to be learned about the mystifying species of bearded lorax. However, here's what we do know.
Awesome.
If a lady wears only her panties to bed, what does a bearded lorax wear to bed?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah.
Real good.
I assume the bearded lorax would wear a leaf at most.
A leaf.
At most.
Just one
At
leaf.
most.
Yeah.
A big palm
I was
frond.
going to say a palm flower, a big maple,
Yeah, okay.
giant sativa leaf.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the fingers.
We're going to consider that correct.
Wow.
Because it's similar to a bikini thong with a double XL t-shirt that says business time and a jaguar print sleeping mask strapped around his head so he can continue to snooze when the sun is poking through the curtains and the morning sparkle fairy is tickling his chin with the light breeze from his blowing air filter.
Oh, God.
Number 2. Good job,
The
Doug.
vision you just gave me is amazing.
Number 2, if a boudoir model poses in a bedroom for a photo shoot with a professional photographer, for whom does the bearded lorax pose?
Oh, wow.
He's seriously thinking about it. He's looking to the heavens for inspiration, Mary.
What are you thinking there? Because, boy, you look confused.
For clout.
Poses for clout.
That's a good one.
For clout? That's who he poses for?
Right.
That's incorrect.
I don't even know where to go with it.
That's a good one.
The same photographer
The
for a
ladies.
boudoir shoot on the beach wearing a mankini in ingratiating poses with seductive glances and fierce stares with the specific intention of provoking the erotic senses in randy, lonely housewives.
Oh, God.
Okay.
It's artistic news.
Strange.
We're learning all the time about this mystifying species of bearded lorax. Evan, number 3. If Joe Rogan broadcasts the Joe Rogan Experience out of his beautiful studio in Austin, Texas, where does the bearded lorax broadcast his podcast?
Oh, in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, right outside of SeaTac Airport, actual beautiful area, and away from traffic. There's a nice little break. You can go any further in town, it's bad, but here it's nice. It's a nice little spot.
Oh, you're talking about here at Leaf HQ?
Yes.
Oh, that answer's wrong. It's on the
Forest.
toilet in his bathroom. The bearded lorax once heard that Jim Morrison of The Doors recorded the song L.A. Woman from the recording studio bathroom, and that the acoustics was rich and textured, so he adopted this practice for his own podcast, simply called Beardaciousness.
Love it.
This is the
I'm
Leaf Life
subscribing
podcast,
right
bro.
now.
Completely different.
Totally different.
Yeah. Hey,
Have
if you
that
wanted to,
echo.
if you want to discover cannabis news, reviews, entertainment, and culture, and explore every Leaf magazine at your convenience, search leafmagazines.com. Coming up in our second segment, we'll explore the different options for vaporizing, including the DABSKI. And we'll get another spin of AJ's Wheel and kick it all off with another episode of Why Didn't I Think of That? With Mary J. White. Leaf Life continues in just a moment.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming.
Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug.
There may be health risks associated with consumption of these products.
For use by adults 21 and older.
Keep out of the reach of children.
Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker Wes's sick lids, provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.